Welcome to the Explainer. So today, we're going to dive into the secret behind the whole AI revolution. And believe it or not, it really all comes down to a single powerful idea, one word that completely changed how machines understand language. All right, let's start with a game. Have you ever heard of the exquisite corpse? It was invented by surrealist artists, back in France. The rules are super simple. A group of you write a story together, but here's the catch. You only get to see the one single word that the person before you wrote. So you add your word, you hide the old one, and you pass it along. So, as you can probably guess, the result is, well, it's usually this nonsensical, kind of poetic jumble of totally disconnected ideas. It's fun for a game, right? But for years, this was the fundamental problem with any AI that tried to write. It was basically playing a game of exquisite corpse with itself, and it was losing badly. So these early AI models, they had this absolutely critical flaw. They just couldn't remember what they were talking about from one moment to the next. They had zero grasp of the bigger picture. The longer a text got, the more the AI would forget the beginning of its own sentence or paragraph. It would just completely lose its way. Okay, so how do you even begin to give a machine a memory? Well, the first big attempt to crack this problem came way back in 1997. That's when computer scientists came up with a pretty new approach. This system was called long short-term memory, or LSTM for short. And look, it was a really clever step forward. It created this kind of intermediate memory lane for the AI. It even used these things called forgetting gates to try and decide what information was junk and what was actually worth holding on to. But, and this is a big but, it still wasn't powerful enough. It couldn't handle long, complex texts. It was a better memory for sure, but still a deeply flawed one. And this, right here, revealed a really fundamental truth. Memory, by itself, it's not the answer. Just think about how you read an article. You don't just remember every single word in perfect order, do you? No way. Your brain instinctively gives more weight to the important stuff. A character's name, a key idea, a promise that was made way back in the first paragraph. You get what matters. And that insight, that's what brings us to the moment that literally changed everything. The solution wasn't about giving the AI a bigger memory bank. Nope. It was about teaching it a skill that is fundamentally, deeply human. Okay, so fast forward to 2017. A group of researchers at Google publishes this revolutionary paper. And the title was so simple, but just incredibly profound. It introduced a brand new concept that would finally solve the memory problem, basically by rethinking it from the ground up. And that one concept was attention. And this is the game changer. Instead of just remembering the last couple of words it saw, this new attention mechanism let the AI look at the entire text all at once. Then, it could assign an importance score to every single word, figuring out which ones were most relevant for predicting what to say next. For the first time, it could see the whole picture. So, this one single idea, it set off a massive chain reaction across the entire tech world. A whole new AI architecture called the Transformer was born, built completely on this attention mechanism. And that gave a young, ambitious company called OpenAI the exact tool it needed to go after its goals. And what happened next? The growth was just explosive. You have the technology appearing in 2017. OpenAI builds its first model just a year later. You could even go online and play with its successor, GPT-2, back in 2019, but almost nobody noticed. It wasn't until the public launch of ChatGPT late in 2022 that the entire world finally saw its absolutely stunning, mind-blowing capabilities. And that famous name, GPT, it actually tells you the whole story right there in the acronym. The G is for generative, because it creates new text. The P is for pre-trained, on just this massive, mind-boggling amount of data scraped from the internet. And the T, and this is the crucial part, stands for transformer, the architecture that's powered by attention. All right, so how does this actually work in practice? Like, when you type a prompt into something like ChatGPT, what's happening under the hood? Well, it's a surprisingly simple and elegant loop that's just happening at an absolutely incredible speed. Okay, so first, the system analyzes your entire prompt. Then, it uses that attention mechanism to give every single word an importance score based on the context. Using those scores, it predicts the most logical next piece of a word. They call it a token. Then, it just tacks that new token onto the sequence and repeat. it starts the whole process over again, token by token by token, to build out its reply. And that's how it builds sentences that actually make sense. See, by analyzing patterns from literally trillions of words it was trained on, it learns that some sentences are just more probable or more reasonable than others. It knows that after a terrible, the word mosquito is a way more reasonable continuation than elephant, just statistically speaking. It's all about predicting the most logical path forward, one word at a time. And the impact of this was so profound, it caught everyone off guard. I mean, the results surprised even the very people who built these systems. This whole attention mechanism didn't just improve AI, it created an entirely new category of powerful tools. Tools that can generate not just text, but images, audio, and video too. So when you really boil it all down, the AI revolution wasn't just about throwing more data or faster computers at the problem. Though, yeah, that definitely helped. At its very core, at its heart, it was about teaching a machine a concept we humans use every single day without even thinking about it: how to pay attention. You know, this technology is really still in its infancy. It's evolving at a truly breathtaking pace, and as it continues to reshape our world, figuring out its potential and managing its risks, well, that's going to require our full and undivided attention, not just the attention of the neural networks. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.